இங்கே அந்த ஸ்மால் டிஃப்ரென்ஷியேஷன் இருக்குது. சிங்கிள் சிப் கம்ப்யூட்டர், மைக்ரோ கண்ட்ரோலரில் சிங்கிள் சிப் கம்ப்யூட்டர் விச் இன் கேஸ் இந்த சிங்கிள் சிப்பில் எல்லாமே இருக்கும். மைக்ரோ ப்ராசஸரில் ஒன்லி CPU இருக்கும். எக்ஸ்டர்னல் மெமரி அண்ட் பெரிஃபரல்ஸ் யூ ஹேவ் டு கனெக்ட். Whereas in components of microcontroller, everything is connected already. And purpose, you can see all this. This is a very easy one. And there is a two type of architectures in this. One is Harvard architecture and one human architecture, which refers to this architecture. See, this architecture we have used in here. This is called Harvard architecture. We are using this in here. The one human architecture, we are not using that one because it's too complicated. Okay, you can just look at the differentiation of this. See, separate program memory, single unified memory, and separate buses for program data, shared bus, faster, this is slower, more complex. The design only complex, but the Harvard. Why it's not coming in my mouth? Harvard architecture is more. We are using that one. Okay, you can see in this, the 8051 is an 8-bit Harvard architecture microcontroller developed by Intel in 1980. It is generally Intel 8051 microcontroller. Intel 8051 microcontroller. Okay. So yeah, these are the features. These features I will explain. Okay, the CPU size is 8-bit CPU. This CPU can process 8-bit of data at a time. Okay, only 8 bits of data at a time it can process. But you can see the address bus with the 16 bits, 128 bytes, 4 kilobytes. There is a lot of things in here which may seem confusing, but it's very easy if you are able to differentiate everything. So CPU size, it just can process 8 bits of data at a time. Architecture, Harvard architecture, data bus with 8 bit, address bus with 16 bit. Just leave it as it is. We will now go to the pin configuration of 8051C. So what we have seen now, the data bus with is 8 bits and the address bus with is 16 bits. So okay, now look at the port 0 and port 2. Okay, in this pin diagram, the 40th pin is VCC and ground pin is 20. So okay, in the port 0, there is totally 4 ports that we can see in this features itself. Okay, we will explain after seeing this features. Address with data bus with the maximum addressable memory is 2 power 16, which is 65,536 of bytes. The maximum locations, just imagine each byte as each location as a single square. There is totally 65,536 square in that microcontroller. That's what you will think, but it's not. There is only 4 kilobyte of internal memory. 4096 of squares is only inside that microcontroller, and it can read up to 65,536 of address lines by connecting external memory. See, that will be mentioned in here. The internal memory, the 8051, inside it has only 4 kilobytes of ROM, read only memory. It is also called as program memory. Why it is called as program memory? Because the code we write, let's say we are writing move a comma hash 55h or anything, that thing will be stored inside this program memory or ROM. Since we are storing the program inside this ROM, it is called as program memory. Simple. Then data memory. Data memory is 128 bytes. RAM. The RAM has a special allocation which is discussed on the RAM portion of 8051. It's a different concept. I will say that later. External program memory. As I said, the internal program memory just 4 kilobytes, and external we can connect up to 64 bytes. Okay. The external data memory also. The external memory can be either a data memory or a program memory. General purpose registers, 32 registers. There are 4 register banks. This registers will be coming under RAM. We will see under the RAM portion of 8051. And input output ports, there are 4 ports which will be discussed in the pin diagram also. And total pins, 32 pins, that I will discuss in the pin diagram. Timers and counters, 2 into 16-bit timers. Yeah, we know that one. Serial communication type, these are all not necessary for explaining the features. Okay, 5 interrupts. This is The second unit is all about this thing. Okay, oscillator, we have a crystal oscillator in there. You may see this overwhelming because there is a lot of concepts. See, there is a lot of features in this. If we try to explain everything in once, it will be so confusing for you. So just I don't confuse yourself. I just set the features along. After this, I will be explaining the architecture of 8051. Yeah, that's the correct thing to do. Before that, I will explain the pin diagram. Pin diagram I will explain in this video itself. Okay, let's go into pin diagram. Okay, see, in that features we will have seen that there are 4 ports totally: port 0, port 1, port 2 and port 3. Okay, 4 ports, 32 pins, 32 input output pins. Each port has 8 input output pins. See, port 0.0, this is an input output pin. What is an input output pin? It can either get input or give output. That's it. So there are totally 32 input output pins with 4 ports. Okay. So port 0, this is the port 1 is the very simplest port in this 8051 microcontroller, because its function is just either giving an input or getting an output. That's it. Because you can see the port 3 there is something mentioned here, and in port 2 also something mentioned in here. Nothing. These are not very easy things. See, in port 0 we have AD0, AD1, AD2, AD3 up to AD7. What is this? Address and data lines. We have seen that in the features of 8051 there are 16 address lines. Let me show you again. See, address bus width, this is 16-bit. Address bus 16-bit. Okay, so we want 16 address lines, which we can use from AD0 to A15. Why it is written as AD and only A as here? That is where it takes to see. CPU size is 8-bit and data bus width is 8-bit. The data bus width is just 8-bit, which means only 8-bit of data can be processed at a time. So AD0 to AD7. Here from the port 0 can be used to access both the address and data. Okay, data can be accessed only with the port 0. So AD0 means address and data with 0. AD1 means address and data port 1, like that up to AD7 are there. And then in port 2 there is only A8 or A15. So why there are 2 ports separating these address lines? I said port 0 has both address and data lines, whereas this port 2 has only address lines. This port 0 has the address lines of lower bit, I mean the lower weightage. From 0 to 7 it is here, from 8 to 15 it is in here. So why of this thing, why they have separated like this? That is where the internal and external memory comes in. What we have said in here is the program memory internal ROM is just 4 kilobytes. 4 kilobytes in the sense we can say as we can use the 4 kilobytes, we can access the 4 kilobytes using just 8 address lines. If you want after that, I mean if you want the 4 kilobytes means it's up to 4096 address location. If you want the 4097th location, we should this thing is not enough. We need external memory. For connecting that external address, we are using this thing, A8 to A15. So yeah, that's it. That's it about all the ports. And these things in here, RxD, TXD, these are used for serial communication. These we will see later. Interrupt, INT0 and INT1 is interrupt 0 and interrupt 1. T0 and T1, timer 0 and timer 1. And what is that? WRO. I don't know what that is. I will say that later maybe. Write read, sorry. It's a writing or reading. When we say move or some instruction if we are giving now, the 8051 don't know whether to read or write the program, so we have to connect that in the circuit while executing the program. So XTAL, this is a crystal 2 and crystal 1. Without crystal oscillator, this 8051 is nothing, it won't work. Crystal oscillator is essential for ICs. This is VCC, 40th pin is VCC and 20th pin is ground, and this thing I have said already. And 31, this EA, external access. It means we can access the external. I have said this, up to from A8 to A15 there are external memory can be connected, right? So if we want to access that external, we can connect that one. And then these two control the external memories only. So yeah, that's it. This is the pin diagram of the 8051. There are 4 ports, 32 input output pins, 16-bit address lines, 8 data lines. Okay, that's it. That's the core thing you have to remember while memorizing the pin diagram of this 8051 microcontroller. And we have looked at the features also. So yeah, next we will go with the block diagram. I mean the thing, what is it? Architecture.